What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream. Well, it looks like both the gutters are working quite well, so that's good. I thought for sure there might be a problem with that one, but it looks like it's doing well. Same with this one. Same with the front one. Good. Good morning, YouTube. Actually, good afternoon. We've got a lot of stuff that's been going on. So Heidi's mom stayed over for the last couple days. Our grandson's birthday party was at Dave and Buster's yesterday. He had classmates show up and we all had a good time. Heidi and I played all the games like we were at the casino. But we had a great time, and he stayed the night last night. And now Heidi is, I think she's taking him home, and then her mom is, she's taking her mom back to her house. We had rain last night. We had rain yesterday. You can see how wet everything is, but we have a lot of stuff that's coming up, which is good. This is going to be my first entry on a new What You Doing, because the other one needs to be posted. And I do have some stuff that I need to talk about. Just to give you an update, the thing that's going on tomorrow is thunderstorms. But more importantly today, Heidi and I have to first remove all of our window treatments. You can see all the windows pretty much have blinds. We're going to throw out all of the window blinds except for 3 of them over here. And then we have to move everything away from the walls, from the window. And I've got to do the same in here. I need to move my work tables away from the windows. Move the stuff back there away from the windows. And I keep on saying the word windows, and that's because we're getting all new windows. Now, we have 80% chance of thunderstorms tomorrow. I seriously doubt they're going to be able to install the windows during thunderstorms, but the sales guy says, yeah, they'll plan on coming out again and doing it. So we'll have to take his word for it. In the meantime, the RV is going to not get worked on quite as of yet. It may still be during this video. These videos are shot over 3 weeks time, and I don't know what's going to happen in the next 3 weeks, but hopefully I'll be able to get to this. But I do know that I'm going to take my truck and hook it up to the RV, get the RV ready for some sort of movement, and I'm going to move the RV back in the driveway quite a bit. I'm going to leave the truck hooked up to it, and then the station wagon, actually today, we have somebody that's coming that will probably, well, they're interested in the car. Let's just say that. But if the car is not sold, then I need to make room for it also. And that's because next week, from the time that I'm shooting this, the guys are going to come and they are going to blow off all the driveway real well. They're going to seal the cracks everywhere that you see cracks, especially along the house. They're going to make sure that's sealed, and they are going to totally reseal this driveway again. He said that the condition the driveway is in, he said it's not bad. He's seen a lot worse, and he said that this seal job that he does should make it last a couple years. He says you should get 2 years out of it before you have any worries. So we want it to be better than this. Right now, every time we go in and out, we are traipsing little pieces of rock. It's falling apart. And of course, The rain just makes it to where it finds little valleys and cracks and just puddles up rocks in there. Now over the winter, of course, that was causing freezing, freezing expansion and contraction and causing the cracks to get even worse. But nonetheless, we're going to get all this sealed off. So that's next week. So windows tomorrow at some point, maybe the next day after that. Maybe the next day after that, I don't know, weather permitting, one of those 3 days. And then the driveway gets done next week. And I got a birthday that's going to be thrown in here for myself. So I got to get to work. By the time you watch this, hopefully you've seen the reviews on some stuff. Our grandson's ATV and this mobility scooter, and even more. So here comes Sully, dude. Sully come out and hung out with us for the day. It was a lot of fun. We had all our windows going in, but we still had a chance to do quite a bit of talking. And he's heading to, he says, Scranton, PA today. He says he's got about 5 hours worth of driving. Hopefully he's got good weather, because we do have storms that are kind of sporadic, but yep, there he goes. So good to see him out there. Boy, his rig does set up higher in the front. He definitely, Sully, you're watching this, you definitely need to get yourself that air ride. I guarantee it'll make a big difference. So speaking of the windows, I wanted to show you guys a few of them. They did a pretty good job. These windows are a little particular, let's just say that. They're just, they're a little bit more of a handful to install these bigger windows. So we've got this one here, I noticed isn't sealed as good as it should be, the slider versus the solid. And on this one here, we've got something that's a little bit off, that's a little crooked. So the screen, you can see it doesn't sit where it needs to be. And it's not that this is crooked, because I can move this one over to here and it does the exact same thing. It has something to do with the framing of the window, and they're going to come back out, they're going to straighten it out. When we mentioned it to him while he was here, he said, yeah, I'm going to put in a warranty on this sash. He thought it was the sash, but I don't think it is. I think it's something else. So we'll talk to them about that and see what they say. But I think there's something else that's, like I said, that's not straight. And they'll straighten it out. Those guys are really good. Let me see if I can step out a little bit here. I really didn't want to get my feet all wet, but because I've been editing videos. Yeah, well, they're going to get wet, I guess. I think they changed the look of the house a considerable amount, which is what we wanted. You can see the windows are now tinted. They have a slight tint to them. We didn't want to go roll around like we're living in a limousine. But we had a lot of rain last night after they did the install. Of course, none of them leaked as expected. This is the bathroom window. Fun note that if your shower is close to the window, the bottom piece of glass has to be tempered, at least per code. And basically tempered is when the glass breaks, it turns into all those little square shards instead of big pieces. You can see we just got normal sashes. you know, single hung, whatever you want to call it, windows to replace. We didn't want to get like a big slider or anything like that. Looks like there's a trim thing that I've got to look at there. Can you see that? Here, we'll get a little closer. I don't want to step in the mud necessarily. There's a lip there that needs fixed. This is our bedroom. Got that wavelength back up there. I got to put that outside eventually. Again, everything looks really good. Windows open and close really nice. This is our bathroom. Here's the kitchen. It brightens it up. It makes it look nicer. That is, you know, that was a major concern. Heidi got a big, you know, 2 light slider here. So it's just a big slider. And then we went ahead and just stuck with a triple on here. So very, very cool. Oh, and not only that, but I got 2 windows for me. Just kidding. It still looks like a disaster in here. I never straightened anything up. But we didn't pay for the high-end expensive windows that we have on the house. We just got regular dual pane windows back here. Nothing real special. But they really did a good job because, you know, this was framed in here really poorly. It was not good. It just wasn't good at all. And they took care of it. Now, we're going to be redoing our blinds inside of our house. And 2 of these blinds, I believe it's these 2 here, are good. They came out of one of the rooms. They're going to be up out here. They're going to cover up these windows. No sense in throwing away blinds that work. Now, all the other blinds, they work, but they were dirty. They were old. A couple of them had a couple cracks in it when we started handling them. They didn't hold together like we thought. And I'm just coming back to show you what these windows look like. I think they did an excellent job here. This is very good. Look how professional that looks. Both of them. I mean, it made a world of difference. That's a lot of work that they had to do because it was so crude back here. So what we got to do is, again, focus on a couple more things for the house. In the meantime, of course, doing a project on the RV. The next thing that we have to do in the house is we're going to get an estimate for the porch. Before that, in about 5 days here, they're coming out to reseal the driveway and fix all these cracks and everything. And then we're going to focus on maybe siding for the home and the garage. You can see it's just ugly wood. Even if we painted it, it's rough. You can see the textures are really, really rough. So we're going to go ahead and look at getting siding. And then our main focus is going to be not so much back here. We thought we were going to do more back here. We might still, but more importantly, we're going to work on the basement. I think we're going to try to make that living area. It's 1,600 square feet. Even though the basement's being used right now just fine, there's a lot of technicalities that make it to where you can call it, a finished basement, and we're not there. So that's it. But yeah, beautiful windows. We really like them. I said just a couple small problems, and once they get those corrected, we're ready to move on to the next step. Oh, it's a beautiful day today. So our high today is going to be 69. I think our high tomorrow is going to be, 58. So you saw Sully dude took off out of here. We just had some guys show up. It's funny how inefficient companies run. We got a letter probably, I don't know, maybe a month after we had moved in. And it said that the lines going to the gas meters they corrode, and because of this corrosion, and it is a gas company responsibility for that part of the system, they want to correct that. So what the gas company did was contract out a company to come by and check all of the gas company responsibility components to make sure they weren't leaking or need repaired. Last week, when they were doing hers, I came out and I said, am I next? And he said, no. And I said, oh, okay, good. I said I was going to move the car, and he said, no, you're not next. So I said, is this in regards to that letter that everybody was sent concerning corrosion of pipes? He said, yes, it is. He says, but he goes, I believe everybody got the letter. He says, but we're only doing 14 on this street. So here we are a week later, and they showed back up. It's the same guys. So I came out and I go, what do? They leapfrog you guys around? He said, yeah, it seems that way, don't it? So I'm going to blow all the water off of the back of the truck here with the leaf blower. I got to figure out something about that. But more importantly, we've had a lot of rain. And of course the RV is still leaking. So I need to go in here and, I have a fan running, but the humidity in here has got to be, pretty crazy at this point. So Sully, he came in and checked out the RV yesterday or day before yesterday, whatever that was. And, yeah, it's real humid in here. It's really wet back there too. Which, again, I expected because I haven't made any repairs to anything yet. But I just don't have time for this now. I got to go finish up editing. I have another review that I have to shoot that has to get done within a few days here. And another one that has to be done in one has to be done in 7 days, or let me rephrase that, in about 5 days. The other one has to be done in about 10 days. And of course, it's never ending. It just keeps on going. So, yeah, just thought I'd let you guys see the project and the state that it's in. Again, I can't wait till we're diving in this and really making some changes so you guys can see some real stuff. It's kind of nice that we're getting all new blinds in the house. These don't quite fit, but, this is a garage, so I'm not too concerned about it. And now I have blinds in here. I wanted to point out something because a lot of people don't know that there's more to putting up blinds than just putting up blinds. And I guess this could go for RVs too. But if for some reason you're putting up one of these blinds, now I'm no expert, I'm just telling you. These tabs here, these weird things here, you're supposed to set those up to be the stopper at the top so that it stops at the correct level. So let me show you what I mean. When that hits there, when that stopper hits, you can see the blind is where it needs to be. You don't have to worry about it. So what you do is you find the exact spot that that's supposed to be, and then just tie a knot around this. Just make a knot around the whole thing. I don't have to worry about, I can stop it in any position, but yeah, I mean, that's the level that I want it to stop at. So that's where I have that stopper. Then the string does not have to be a mile long. You just push this thing through, to the level you want it to be. Then you tie a new knot and you cut off the excess. That's it, right? Okay, now last thing, I don't ever do, but you're supposed to. You're supposed to take and remove these pieces on the bottom here. And at that point, you're supposed to take out all the additional slats that you don't need. Cut the string and reattach. Now, I don't do that. I should. I did it on a couple. If you go back and look at when I had our office, at our old house, when I first started the channel, we had a big blind in my office. And if you look, the slats were right where they're supposed to be. I think I did it on the dining room blind also. I don't, it's just time consuming, and as long as there's not a stack, which, if you've got a stack like this, that's way too much weight on these stupid little mechanisms that don't work very well in the first place. And I'm talking about cheap blinds, that's all. Now the good news is, if you go to the store, you don't even have to buy these things anymore. They make them, and we have 3 in the house that you know, you don't need strings anymore. You don't pull them like that. You just lift them and they do their own thing. But anyways, like I said, the blind is kind of nice, right? Looks a little better. I was proud of my blinds. Hopefully Heidi notices. I got to take those stickers off the windows, but they're harder than just peel off stickers. The funny part is these windows that we're looking at right now were the bottom of the line that they had. They don't make single panes. I just told them I just wanted new windows, ones that I could open, ones that I could see out of. I didn't care if they're R value or any of that crap. And these do have some sort of R value to them. And they're actually made pretty darn nice. Heidi was looking at them and she said, man, maybe we should have went with the cheap ones all throughout the house. And I talked her out of that because I think ours look a little better. What do you think? Look at that nice, there's just a little hint of tint in the windows, right? You can just kind of see that they're slightly tinted. Man, I think I have to talk about them so much because, man, that's a big outlay of money for us. Good morning, YouTube. Look at the sunshine. That don't mean anything though. Although we're in May, we've got a frost advisory coming out for tomorrow, and I got a lot of stuff to do. Ooh, it is a little breezy. So today, right now, it's 45 degrees, and tomorrow, let's see how this is going to work with the wind chill. Can you believe that? We're in May and we're talking about wind chills. It's 32 degrees is the low tonight, and the high tomorrow will be 72 degrees. So that's a 42 degree or 40 degree difference there. Yeah, isn't that nuts? So we are preparing for some work to be done. Do you see this driveway? Oh my God, there's whirligigs on it already. So what I got to do is I have to blow off this driveway. Well, it needs blown off so that tomorrow, the guy said he don't know what time because the cold weather's kind of screwing with him, but he's going to do the sidewalk or the driveway tomorrow, seal it. So I got to get the car moved. Haven't had any takers on the car, which I find odd. We got a bunch of people that are doing a lot of online shopping, but nobody wants to come out in this day and age. They don't want to. They just want to sit on their computers and talk about the products that are for sale instead of actually doing something about it. Uh-oh, got water all over. So it's like a big onion there, huh? That's what that looks like to me. How do you let it grow? So what I need to do today is I have to let's see, put the hitch on the truck, which is in the back seat of the truck, and I have to hook up to the camper, and I need to move the camper back, and I've got to see how far this cord will stretch, but I need to move the camper back pretty far, and at that point, whatever distance I get it back, I need to get the station wagon parked in this area, and then I need to be able to get the truck parked in this area. In the meantime, I need to move all these sandbags and these rubber, which that rubber stuff is supposed to be right here. It's supposed to go along the garage. Maybe I'll do that today too. Let me tell you what's going on with our windows so you guys can get on board with that story. These are supposed to be a half, quarter, or as they refer to it, quarter, half, quarter. I realize that we're not going to have our windows open all the time, but one of the selling points of quarter, half, quarter was that, again, when you open them, which they open relatively easy, That's the other thing. They don't have a indication of, like, these are, to open them you got to go down, and for those you have to go up. That's dumb. All right. So now when they're open, you have, and this is being picky, I realize it, but this was a selling point. You have a frame, small opening, a frame, window, a frame, small opening, a frame, window, a frame, small opening, a frame. Why did they make those latches line up with each other? Why couldn't they have offset them to get it to where when the window is open, it's really close to being one frame, and these two frames then would line up? I mean, this just looks clunky. And the whole idea behind the picture window was, oh, you can open your window and it's a pretty clear, unobstructed view other than the one bar. Instead, now we have 6 bars across this view, this glass view. Not cool. Not cool at all. When we start traveling again, going on camping trips, that is definitely coming with us. So basically, I needed something that I could load up all the cameras, all the security stuff, and all of our computers, and use that, which that's a Spectrum. That's why we got Spectrum. This one here, just the way it's sitting, you see it just sitting here pointing out the window. This one here is anywhere between 120 to 300 down, and the upload speeds are around 6 to 12. Not extremely fast. Now, this here is connected, which is really nice. This is the best part about this. Again, I talk about how this is for travel, because literally I unplugged this, and just ignore this cord here. I would unplug this from the wall and just take it with us and put it in the RV and stick it up in whichever window's the best, and then plug it back in. And it's, it gets a signal better than a cell phone. I try to describe it as, this is like a glorified cell phone that has 4 different carriers on it. You can see here, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and US Cellular. And then it's got the mega hotspot. It's unlimited. I think they have to say an amount, but it's unlimited. I mean, I do 1 terabyte a month. I haven't had any issues. But anyways, they still have to give out some sort of a number. This cell phone that has all those carriers, that's what I'm going to call this, big cell phone, is got the best hotspot in the world. It boom, boom, it blasts these hotspot signals out, at 2 different speeds, the 5.8 and the 2.4. So anyways, the links are in the description down below for this. You'll buy this device here, and there'll be no SIM card whatsoever. There's not a SIM card in here. And at that point, you will get, all those carriers, and whichever one's the strongest, this will hook up to automatically. If you're having any kind of an issue, though, as far as connection, and you think that, maybe you're real close to where Verizon's pretty strong and AT&T's pretty strong, maybe T-Mobile and AT&T's pretty strong, but you see a little bit better of a signal from one than the other, just give them a call and have them go through this, and they will set it up through the phone. It'll be done all automatically to the strongest signal, and they'll lock it in for you. At some point in time, they want to put an app together to where you can do that yourself, but right now you just give them a call and they'll do that. Again, I've been with them for years now, and Jesse out there is a great guy. Definitely good signal for what we've done, traveling the country in the last couple years. Seems like when the sun is shining, the lights are on. Boom! I need to do so much work down here, guys. It's just constant. It's a constant thing. And man, I'll tell you, one day I'm going to catch up. I don't know when that is. But we got a lot to do. Good morning, YouTube, and it's a cold morning. Last night we had temperatures that were approaching freezing mark. Can you believe it? In May. So it was, look, you can see my breath. Look at all the frost where I mowed on the grass. Or I should say baled hay. So today's the day. I'm going to wait until our neighbor, it might be a little bit later. I don't want to go over it this time in the morning. It's just a little early. But, yeah, this is the day that they're going to come out and seal. Now, whenever I confirmed it with the guy, I sent a message to him and asked him, hey, what, we still on for, this morning and getting the driveway sealed? And he says, yeah, he says this cold weather is kind of threw me for a little bit of a loop. He says, I'll be there tomorrow. He goes, in the morning, he says, I just don't know what time. And this guy's like an early riser. He's up at 5:30, 6 every day. So his plan was to come here at 8, but I get it that you can't necessarily spread hot sealer on a surface that's relatively cold. I clean this off. I use that leaf blower for an hour straight getting this cleaned off. So, and both vehicles fit here. Look at that. The steam, the power of the sun. But yeah, you can still see, look at all the frost. You think that'll stop the grass from growing? It's funny because Sully, hey Sully, what's happening, man? Sully stopped by and stayed the night. That was a lot of fun having him over. He kept on apologizing that he didn't announce that he was going to be here, but that's fine. He can stop at any time. I don't care. And he was saying that he finds it funny that, the last time that we had met up with him was we were in Butler.
Morning, YouTube. It's moving day. We have Mike Sullivan over there. Sully. He spent a couple days with us. He's getting ready to head out and head back to his hometown. Say good morning.
I knew the camera was on it.
And that's the one that has the really nice rails and trails that runs right alongside the park. And you can ride it for miles. You can take it into the next town, have ice cream. It's just a good trail. It's a very nice trail. One of the top ones that we've been on. I think the only other ones that we've been on that I have to say rates really close to that is the one in Colorado. That was really nice just because it was so scenic. And it took you to a little town of sorts, a little community that you could go get lunch and stuff like that. But by far, I think the best one was down in That was Eufaula, Alabama. But it's really cool through here. So this is an old part of town. Look at that centerpiece. How many towns you been through that's got a statue in the middle of it, huh? That is really cool. It kind of reminds me of New Orleans, I guess, on some level, as far as the way that it is built overall. I mean, it's the Old South. Look at this whole barbershop, though.
Hopefully this little video turns out good. There we go. Such a beautiful view. This is cool right here. Woo. I don't know who's gonna help him if he flops. He may have had a couple drinks.
Y'all coming up too fast.
So at the end of the other trail, you got this, and man, this is nice. I'm telling you, it's like, you know what this is like? It's like a vacation location that is in the off season and nobody's using it. That one actually took you from the campground that ran right along the campground into the city. I mean, like right down into the city. And you had, you know, do all your grocery shopping. You would never have to drive anywhere if you stayed at that campground. I mean, other than scenery reasons, you know, going to check out places. But you go down past the marina. You can cut off and go to the park and hang out at the park for the day, which is a big metropolitan type park. Of course, with a big lake. Go fishing. That was probably the best one that we experienced. But nonetheless, Sully had run into us at Butler, Ohio, and we hung out with him for the day. And it's funny because he said that I can't believe how much you guys have, you know, done. He said since we last, you know, were together. He said, you know, you went from your RV to, you know, he goes, a whole nother house that you bought, fixed up, sold, and he says, now you're in this house and you're fixing it up, because he was here when they were putting in the windows. And he says, it's just funny how much that's been. In the meantime, he's just been doing the same thing that he has been, and that's commuting between Boston and Texas, where he resides in his motorhome. But he has a camp or something in Boston. But yeah, that's the thing about getting back to the driveway. If this can last 2 years before we have to really, really address the driveway, and maybe at that point make modifications to the way that it's laid out, that'll be good. So be it. This is definitely a different look when we come out here, huh? So glad we got this sealed off. He said that looking at, like I said before, a couple years before we'd have to be concerned about the driveway. And he brushed all this stuff on. He said he couldn't believe it was like a sponge he couldn't believe how much material it took. He said it took a lot more than I thought it was going to. But yeah, he brushed it on. There's no, he didn't cheat me with the sealer. I mean, hell, you can still see out there. There's a dark spot right about there at the tip of my finger. That's just still a puddle. Let's go in here because I can't, of course, walk in the driveway. Yeah, man, so much better. He put that, you know, that crack. I don't know how many of those crack sealer things he put down. Probably maybe 15 to 20 gallons, you know, individual gallons that he just poured in all these cracks, and then he brushed it down in the crack. But man, it's so nice, so nice. And he main thing he asked is, you know, can we, like I said, put a sign out there in the yard? I'm like, absolutely. While he was out there, somebody stopped, a neighbor that's a couple doors down, and he ran over and said, hey, I need to get his card. I think he's down there doing an estimate for him right now. But man, oh man, I am so relieved that we have this done. I mean, it was one of the selling points of the house that it had a big driveway, but it was in such disrepair that we were concerned about, you know, obviously it fallen apart from right underneath of us. But okay, enough about the driveway. What an odd place to start the day. I had to make a belt repair. I have a tendency to keep shoes and belts for much longer than I should, and this belt I've had for a really long time. Excuse me. Anyways, that's what I was out here doing, but I think the driveway might be okay. You can see where I put my scuff footprint on there. So they said that if you want to test it as far as walking on it, you go out with your shoe and you do a little spin test, and it was okay. And that looks a little, that's cracked also. Oh, I see. It's not that it's cracked, it's the top layer of sealer exposing the bottom layer of sealer. Okay, I get it. That makes more sense. But they say that this sealer, I talked to the asphalt guy on some length. Yeah, that's all. It just exposing the seal underneath. And what he said, wow, he did a good job over here. He said he's going to get some up on the brick. And me and Heidi were thinking, oh man, we're going to have to, you know, tape this all off and everything. But he kept it nice and neat. All right. Okay, so getting back to what I was saying. He had said that there was different levels of asphalt sealer, different types of asphalt sealer, and he used a bunch of different ones. And the one that he used initially was, back when he first started the job in 2020, was a pretty volatile sealer of some kind. He said so much so that if like a frog would land in it before it dried and then it went off into a pond, it would kill the fish in the pond, carrying the poison, and of course it would kill itself too, carrying the poison from the sealer. And he says it, you know, him dealing with that on a daily basis was definitely not good for him. He had to glove up more. He had to protect himself more using it. He said it was good. It was a little bit more expensive, he says, but the risk just wasn't worth it. And plus, you know, poisoning family pets and stuff. He said it wasn't worth that either. So the other thing that he said was, talking about this crack sealer, I said, I remember when they had like a ladle. It was basically, it's not really a ladle, but a can, and that tin can having a spout on the bottom of it that had a little trap door, and there was a handle up on top that you would carry, and you could squeeze the handle and it would open the little trap door, and it, you know, just squeeze the handle and control the flow of this hot patch going into the seal. He said, I used to do that stuff. He goes, I used to have it. He says, here's the thing. And he showed me a scar on his hand. He goes, it's 400 degrees. He says, I got burned. And he goes, you know, when you get that on your skin, you just don't wipe it off. He goes, he says, if you wipe it, you're just wiping that hot stuff all over. Kind of like napalm. You know, that's why napalm was so brutal during Vietnam. And I think the Korean War even, but definitely Vietnam. But napalm is, so the deal is he went to this other type of sealer that's just mixed in jugs and poured, you know, into the cracks directly as a straight, just a straight asphalt. So this is what they call an asphalt emulsion. What they do is they agitate a concentrate of asphalt sealer. Then they mix it with water to keep it suspended and thinned out. Well, the seal that he uses is the straight concentrate. Plus there's something else added to it. I don't know what he said was else added to it. But then as far as the sealer goes, what they do is they pour out the sealer and they brush it out. They brush it, you know, into the concrete. And then at that point, you leave it set. And the water evaporates, leaving you with just that emulsified sealer. So that's basically what we're waiting for, is just for it to be sealed, you know, or the water to evaporate. Once the water evaporates, that's it. It's all finished. But yeah, he did a pretty good job. I see a couple places that he missed. Not crazy. I planned on needing to do this again at some point. He said, he goes, you're going to be covered for 2 years. He says, 2 years time, you won't have any issues. But yeah, there's, like I said, there's just a few places that I'd be concerned with, but for the most part, it's very, very, very good. The main thing is going in and out of this side here. You know, this is the side that gets used the most when Heidi's going in and out of it. God, he did a good job here too. He sealed all along. I asked him if he could seal all that, and he did. But boy, he brushed this on really well. This sealing is supposed to happen like every 2 years maybe. If you did it yourself with some cheap stuff from Lowe's, you could do it, you know, once a year. I used to have a neighbor that once a year he would clean off his driveway, and he would get a big, it's the only time he chewed chewing tobacco. He'd put a big wad of chewing tobacco in his mouth, and he would start walking and pouring the stuff out on his driveway and pushing it around with a squeegee or a broom. And he would do his whole driveway. As he went along, he would spit his tobacco. You know, those guys chew tobacco. It's just a matter of getting juices in your mouth and then spitting it out when it's too much. He'd spit that out and just asphalt right over top of it. He said he'd been doing it for 30 years that way. So Heidi's got mud on her. And it's because for Mother's Day, she said, I'm going to mow the lawn for you. So she hopped on the zero turn, which she's never done before, and she went back there and got it buried back there by the fence. And it took me, her, and our son, and the garden tractor about an hour to in a floor jack and boards to finally get it out.
So
all because she was back there jerking around.
So what really needs a lesson to be learned is Michael can't mow back there.
Okay, so maybe it was me back there. Yeah, I thought, yeah, it's wet, but it was wet before. Let me just run through this real fast, and it just stopped. Now, I think part of that has to do with I have this on a very low mow setting. So when it sunk a little bit, the deck immediately caught. Yeah. So what I should have done is lifted the deck and run through it. This.
Yeah. He was only inches going back and forth.
And that's why I talked about this mower being a ZTX 5 something.
Yep, ZTX 5.
Okay, the ones that they sell at Home Depot and Lowe's and all that, whoever carries the Cub Cadet. They have a ZTX4, ZTX3. They have a Series 2000 Hydro. The reason I wanted this one is because it has a 3000 Series Hydro. And what I'm talking about is the transmissions. There's two transmissions, one for the left wheel, one for the right wheel. And the reason you want that, even though you're mowing residential, is because of this kind of crap. I got stuck back there and I had to just beat the crap out of this thing, rocking it back and forth to even move it a few feet.
Find a good deal on this one.
Yeah, we got a really good deal on it.
So anyway, we're going to clean up the mower.
Yeah, this mower's filthy. I mean, it's
saying that I wouldn't wash my car, but I'd wash this.
Yeah, it's really, 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 really bad.
I just didn't want it to sit in the mud back here. And I already have the hose hooked up. And if you could just wheel that, I will.
Well, I was baling hay.
Well, you gotta correct that before it rains.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe because I did fix the front yard or the side yard.
Or mow. Is it gonna rain? What, Wednesday, Thursday?
I think starting on Tuesday.
Dang.
And it's
you only got one day.
Today's Monday.
No, today's Sunday. Tomorrow's like the one day.
Yeah, and then it's supposed to sprinkle every day for 7 days.
It is spring.
It is spring.
All right, will you get the mower up?
Okay, we'll do. We're going to return to the scene of the crime. I'm currently being recorded, it says. But look at them baling hay out here. Man, oh man, there's a lot. I got the steady shot on, so you guys only get 30 frames per second. I hate that. I think it's dumb. So right now it's starting to get soft. The little tractor with chains got buried a little bit here, but right here, look at that. Even with chains and weights, it got buried trying to pull the zero turn out. And look at this soupy mess. Man, oh man, what a nightmare. So yeah, whenever I came around the corner, I got right to here and it just stopped, which was crazy. So this mess is from me trying to get the little tractor to pull the zero turn. There's these wolf spiders everywhere here too. Look at them. See them? They're everywhere. Anyways, yeah, that damn little garden tractor did a pretty good job, but the zero turn was just buried. It was buried up to the frame. And I don't understand these people. Well, this is an alley, sort of, but if I owned all of this acreage back here, I would do something with it. I mean, it's a swamp over here, and I don't know. It's just me, so it needs gone over one more time. But yeah, you can see the difference here versus that mess. Yikes. I can't believe we're gonna have to take my second shower today. Whew, I'm out of breath. Forgot how heavy the sand things were. I picked up a couple of them. You know, there's 5, so if I pick up 2 at a time, I only have to make this move from one place to the other, 3 times. I'm like, holy cow, these things are kind of heavy. And I picked up the second set and set them down. And when I picked up the third one, I'm like, wonder how heavy these are. It's like, man, 120 pounds. I used to be able to throw 120 pounds around like nothing. They're 60 pounds a bag. I don't know. Getting old. Getting weak. Can't be doing that stuff that I used to. And I know you guys probably aren't going to be able to see this, but man, these turkeys are huge. Look at them. They get their full plumes out and everything. Do you see them? That is crazy. The wind is pretty strong back here. You guys are going to have to forgive me. I haven't used this camcorder forever. This used to be the camcorder. But I thought, I'm going to get this out, and we keep it for one reason only. It's got an awesome zoom. I'm just freehanding this, so I'll have to make some adjustments. It's not 4K or anything, but you'll get the gist of it. Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to probably one of the nicest days that we've had so far this year. Look at how our shoes are all jacked up. And the steps, because we got mud everywhere. The reason that it's one of the nicest days of the year is it's a little hazy, so it isn't because the sun is necessarily just blowing through the clouds, but it's got a slight breeze. That's not why it's the best day of the year so far. It's a Monday, so that's not why it's the best day of the year so far. The yard's pretty much mowed. That's not why it's the best day of the year so far. There's no rain in the forecast today, although that's really nice. That's not why it's the best day of the year so far. Can anybody guess why it's the best day of the year so far? Because it's 80 today. We finally made 80. Even though it's really nice today, we've got thunderstorms tomorrow. So that's a thing. I asked Heidi, I said, I don't understand. I need license plate light bulbs for the truck. And the harness is all, you know, it's all corroded and everything. I said, and you guys don't sell this? I said, this looks like a common issue. And she says, no. She goes, I don't have any source for it whatsoever. And she goes, maybe you'll have to get it from Ford. I'm like, man, I don't really want to get anything from Ford. Just, you know, there's certain things I like buying from Ford, but something as simple as, you know, lights, you know, sockets. Well, I know why they don't sell them. Because you can get these on Amazon for like $9 for 2 of them. So that's why she don't sell them. I've got to do stuff before the rain comes. Now, I'll tell you, some of the stuff that I think about, it's like, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should, and then I decide not to. We were going to order just an inexpensive RV cover for the RV. Nothing grand, nothing fancy. Because, you know, it's still leaking. Now, I have the sealant coming and being delivered today, but I don't have time to take out the bad stuff and put in the good stuff so it stops leaking. And the RV is incredibly dry inside right now. I'm very happy with how dry it is inside. This is the driest it's been in quite some time. And the idea that I'm going to let it get wet again during this rain just doesn't set right with me. Now, I could put a tarp on the back. You know, I could just drape a tarp. I have plenty of tarps, and I could throw one over the back of this. But the idea is that the RV needed to be moved anyway, sort of. So, might as well go ahead and make the RV, if I've got to move it, just put it in the pole building. Now, the pole building isn't all ideal. I'm learning stuff about owning a pole building. One of the things is those stupid birds and how much they crap on stuff inside there. I mean, I've got tarps over stuff because how much they crap on things. Well, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. So what I need to do is come back here and prepare the area for the RV to go back in. Now, the way I'm going to do that is I have to move the zero turn, I have to move the tractor, and I got to find places for them. All right. So these crapping birds that are everywhere inside here, they're out of control. But there's nothing I can do at this point in time about it. Okay, here's the other thing that needs to be done. This well area, they've had this makeshift thing on here, which seems to have done an okay job. I don't want to take away from this design. I don't want to have to redesign everything right now. So what I'm going to do is reinforce it, reset it back up, but I'm going to try to clean this out first because it's not, I don't know what's in that hole. I think it might be a shutoff, but you never know. It could be anything. It could be gold. We got gold down there. I doubt it. I don't know where our son's going, but sounds like his car's fired up. He's taking off. I think he's got to work today, maybe. And I don't know where all my nozzles are for this, so we're going to have to do it the hard way with this little short nozzle. You guys see all those little ants in there? We've got a secret for that stuff. I'm gonna get that taro. That stuff works so good. So this is the stuff here, the liquid ant killer. So the best thing I can say about this is that it supplies them with something that they take back to the nest, and whatever it is, it eliminates them. It's just this liquid form. Now it takes it a while. Don't get me wrong, it's not like it'll be overnight or something, because all these ants have to take it back to their nest. So what I do is I'll put some on this little card. You just squirt some on the card, and all of a sudden it's a treat for them, and they will go nuts over it. They love this stuff. You can see. I'll try to get you guys closer. See how when they find it, they just like, ooh, hey, here's something. And they just will pile on that. And again, this is something they take back to the nest, and it just kills them, you know. They will hang out on this. This whole thing will be covered in no time. Again, let me see if I can get you guys close, because it's immediate. It's like crack. Crack for ants. See how they're loving it? Yeah, they can't get enough of that. Well, I gotta unplug it, but I'm hooked up. I gotta drive over those boards, which that's not a big deal. Let's go back and look at the pole building, though. So we got a little bit better organized. Of course, you can't see it until I get in here, and then the camera's light will adjust, just like my eyes. Boom. I got a little bit more room. I did move something back. Well, that little lawn trailer was here. Anyways, now I've got these, you know, this stuff moved back. I do need this over here, though. This is where Le Zero Turn most likely is going to go. I think I'm going to have to mow a little bit today. I already have a cord stretched out, so I have something to plug in the fan to keep it, the air circulating inside. So I'm going to get this RV plugged in here, and yeah, I think I got plenty of room. 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 my God. Look what she does. Whoopsie. Oh my God. I barely rubbed that wood and I pulled this all away from the RV because of the rotted wood. Holy cow. Let's see that. Look at that. Oh my God. Look at this. I barely rubbed it. Look, it didn't even do anything to the turn signal or nothing. I just barely caught it right here on a piece of wood. This piece of wood right, oh, it's the desk. It caught the corner of the desk. Oh my God. Yikes. Well, I mean, I had to repair that anyways, but now look at it, it's dented. You can see where it was, the dents happened. Oh man. But again, a lot of this had to be done anyways because I had to replace this rotted wood that is not even connected into anything. Gosh darn it. I just didn't expect to have to do it so soon. So, yikes. Well, live and learn. I thought this desk was far enough back. I heard these buckets fall, and when I did, I'm like, oh, okay, I need to readjust. So I did. I pulled back up. I'll show you what the main problem is. It's a visual thing. You guys know that whenever you're backing into something, you have to have reference lines of what is straight. Well, I've got this really crooked now, and the reason that I do is because I heard this noise back here. Yikes, yikes, yikes. And the reason that I have no reference lines is you see that it looks to be straight out here, right? I don't know if I can get through here. Well, it is. It's straight to the driveway. It's not straight to the garage door, though. The garage is straight to the house, or the pole building is straight to the house. So, all right, let me go fix this. Well, it's all in there and tucked away. I got to get these boards gathered up. I need to do something with the plug so when it rains it's not out here just in the water. I need to burn some cardboard today, and I need to mow the lawn yet. My son said that somebody was at the door while I was back at the pole building. He was in the bathroom, so yikes. I mean, the garage doors are open. Why didn't... I don't know. That's odd. Why wouldn't he look for me? Right? Hello, YouTube. Another wonderful day here in Ohio. Looks like we're going to have some more rain, potentially. I don't know. I'm trying out a new phone device to help me with my camera work. I know this is an odd place to start some sort of a phone appliance review, and that's facing some sort of kitchen appliance. But I wanted to talk about this device because there's very few times that I talk about phone devices as being a really good product. But there's two things that I got for my Flip 6. One of them was this Pitaka, P-I-T-A-K-A phone case. It's probably the sleekest phone case I've ever owned. And it has real fibers in it, real woven fibers. I mean, it is very nice to look at. None of this is going to necessarily come on a camera very well, but I'll have the links in the description in the video. Please check out the links. It's really, really nice. And it's the lightest, thinnest, slimmest case that I've ever had on a phone. So for that matter, it's like the phone really doesn't change from whenever you first get it. Everybody loves their phones when they first get them and how thin they are and how they feel. But then they put a bulky case on them of some kind. Now, I've dropped this phone a couple times with this case on. It did protect it. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about, even more importantly, is I added weight back to this. Even though I got a small, light phone, and I put the lightest, thinnest case on here, this case does have a mag-safe ring inside of it. And it does a pretty good job. It's not bad. It's always, I was kind of surprised. I mean, you can see, right? That's pretty good. It's holding it there. It's, you know, it's doing a good job. But the part that I added was this here. This is something that I did a lot of reviewing on, you know, checking out, looking at different rings. I've got a few of them here. And this one by far, even though it's the heaviest, it does add weight to your phone and a little bit of bulk. This is well worth it. Now, I shoot a lot of video using my phone. That's the reason that I got this one. You know, that's one of the benefits of the Flip 6 is you can, well, whenever it's closed, you can use the camera that's front facing, you can see here, and you can see the camera that I'm recording with right now, and it does a great job. I can have this track me, I can have it do all kinds of stuff. So I wanted that MagSafe ring on it so I could potentially, you know, do something like this, which I still can do that, right? But I can't get an angle. I can't set it up on the table necessarily. You know, there's a lot of things I can't do. Plus, the phone's small enough that sometimes it's a little hard to hold. So I thought, I'm going to get one of those pop-it things. And then I seen this, and I'm glad that I did. So check this out. Listen to this. It is, I mean, it's very solid. Very, very solid on there. And one of the things I noticed whenever I was researching this, I didn't really see a video that showed how solid this thing was. You know, especially like I said, using this case. So I've got two magnets going on there, one on the case and one on this ring that are holding this thing together. But that's still not the best. Again, I can do all kinds of stuff with this to where I can use this, you know, for shooting video. I can, you know, hold this off to the side, make it a little bit easier. I can do this. I can shoot video that way. I can use it as a handle. It's got a double fold to it. Of course, I can set this on a table. I can prop it up, you know, prop it up to where it's facing up. There's all kinds of stuff that I can do. And I can also do this because it's got a double magnet to it and it puts it at different angles. It makes it to where I can shoot different angles. This magnet is pretty strong. Again, I didn't see that in the video. I was concerned when I watched the video. The person that was, I mean, I can't even pull it off there. The person that was doing the video, they kind of just gingerly put it on and did that. So I thought, the magnet's probably not that strong. Well, it is. It is pretty strong. I mean, that's good, right? So, I mean, I like it. I think that this is a good addition. Of course, you know, you can use it as a pop-it ring or whatever, but yeah. So again, the link will be down below for this. Check it out. There is on this side some sort of felt. Just to let you know, you don't have to put it just like this. I mean, you can, right? But you can also do it like this if you want to do it that way. And again, it is away from it's away from the refrigerator. It's not, you know, it's not right up against it. Very cool, very cool. I didn't think it was going to be this strong, so I thought, man, I got to do a video on this and let everybody know about it. So that's what I'm doing, and I hope it works out pretty good. I got to do some work on the truck. We'll see how good this works out. So I changed my mind, decided to do it outside because it's such a nice day out, and you can see what I'm dealing with here. Yeah, these are a couple of old. It's all corroded. The inside's corroded. I actually got this bulb to work, believe it or not, even though that inside is so disgusting. So, uh-oh. Just fell a couple raindrops. That's what I get for talking about Ohio weather. Sorry, Ohio. Didn't want to ruin your reputation by making it sound like that it's a beautiful day and all. I mean, I see some clouds coming over. Maybe that's just something strange in the neighborhood there. I can't tell. This don't look like Ford tape. I don't know. Maybe that's what they do. So again, it's pretty obvious the way these things work. This is if you guys have a Ford truck, this is two parts. Let me see if I can get this part out. Might need a screwdriver or something. Wow, this one's pretty corroded in there. There we go. So it's two parts. So what they're wanting to do is Ford's, you know, hoping, oh, well, you just buy a new one of these when it gets corroded, which is a good idea, and then you just plug it into the socket. Problem is the wiring on the other one. Let me see if I can show you here. It's off in the distance. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. But anyways, the other one, there is no plug on it. When I was trying to do what I just did there, oops, I hit you guys. It pulled off the wiring. I can't really show it to you because you just can't see it. So I asked Heidi, I said, where are these things at? Where, can you get me these? And I can make the other work. She goes, no, they don't make them. She goes, I don't have them. Shoot, they're on Amazon. They're like $9 for 2 of these with the complete sockets and everything. The heat shrink, everything that you need. You get that part and the part that the bulb goes into. And it's got, not heat shrink, but, these things here. Doink. Little couplers or whatever. So, let me go ahead and knock that out. I'm just going to cut this and strip it and put the wires on, and all will be right in the world again, hopefully. Well, I get it all finished, but I'm not going to do it again that way, using what they sent. I bought some time ago some really good connectors, some wire connectors, and it took me a couple seconds to find it because I used to have them in you guys know the story. I had my own shop. I did all that work. Yeah, I had everything organized. Now I don't. But basically, what I just did was use their connectors, which are butt connectors. You just put in the wires and then you crimp them. But the thing is the ends are still exposed to weather. So what I had to do is use some of my, I have plenty. I've had this for years. Heat shrink tubing. I got this at Harbor Freight a long time ago. I think it was Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight. I got it at Harbor Freight. It says right there, Harbor Freight. Anyways, I've had this for some time. So I had to put heat shrink over top of it and then heat shrink it. Well, when I used to work on stuff all the time, I hated that whole process. It takes too long. So I bought connectors that are heat shrink. So they're butt connectors. You put the wires in there, crimp it, and then you just heat shrink this, and it's all in one. So I went and dug that out because I'm not doing that double work again this next time. But I do have to tape this up, make it look nice. Oh, I'll show you that it works. I'll hit the power lock on my key fob and you'll see the light come on. So, yeah, we got a light again. The other one, it was bad. It would short out and you had to wiggle it and do all kinds of stuff. But not this one. This one works. Don't that look so much better? Oh, you're a little bit out of camera angle there. Oh, I lost my little thing. I have to go chase it. It's all in one. It's a butt connector, it's heat shrink, it's all in one. It is so nice. Now, I remember the first time that I seen something like this, as far as these connectors, was, I'm going to say the word around my Ford, so hopefully the Ford don't get offended. Man, the pollen count's so high out here. Anyways, GM. GM had these, and they have a sealant that's inside. They even make them to where you can heat them up, and they have solder inside of them that, that solders all that stuff together. It's pretty amazing. I remember when I thought Scotch locks was something unbelievable. Okay, we got the plate on, and let's see if the lights work. Ready? Yay! Now the lights work, everything's secure, and I got a plate on there. I think all the lights are working now. I still don't understand this spotlight function that's on the mirrors, but yeah, and I can tell Heidi and I was kidding around. We know cars. And I said, man, do they got cheap brakes on here? And she's like, yes, they do. Do you guys know why? You know why we say that? Her and I both make sure that we get the ones that are low dust brake pads. The cheaper ones cause this black soot Look at this. I mean, that is just nothing but brake dust. Yeah, that's cheap. That's just cheap stuff. And it is, you know, a four-wheel disc, so I'm kind of surprised that maybe I'll have to look at the brakes, make sure the back ones are okay. Maybe the front ones are doing all the work. I mean, they do like 80% of the braking, but okay. So the only other thing this truck needs, I can't do anything about it today. I need to schedule an appointment to have them look at the air conditioning, and that'll probably cost $1,000. I did a video back when we had our Terry travel trailer, and I searched up and down for a vacuum cleaner that we could take with us when we went full time, and I wanted to make sure that it would do the job for us. We have a really good Oric that we love, and we've had Oric for a long time, but it seems to be that whenever we just want to clean up real quick, we always go to our battery powered that we had. I mean, it's been like 6 years now that we've had that vacuum, maybe 5 years. But anyways, I did a review on that one. And since I did that review, this company reached out and said, hey, we have something that might be even better. I love it. Just 5 minutes and I'm an expert on this already, right? There's just 10 pages that you need to be concerned with. Most of it is maintenance and cleaning. It talks about the charging. There's a little bit of troubleshooting, but there's not a lot going on with this that requires troubleshooting. Reading the instructions, it tells you what to do, and it's pretty simple. They tell you to wipe this out occasionally. There's a little trap door here that one way for the vacuum to go in, keep all the dust in there. And yeah, this is the HEPA filter. So I'm going to try this out. I'm going to go in the house on the steps. I'm going to see how much dust I can pick up. And I'm going to show you what I go from a nice clean cup to see how much I get off these steps, because we've only swept these steps one time since we've moved in here. And it is currently at the end of May. And we moved in here in September. So let's see how bad those steps are. This carpet is really old. It's been here since the 70s, and it's got a lot of dirt on it. But you can see how short this is and how compact that I can run this on the steps. I'm kind of interested to see what this does. It's the perfect width for the step. I do like that. Got a couple lights here that I'm moving out of the way when I do this. The thing that they talk about on this one is for pet hair. Now, we don't have any pets, but it's doing a pretty good job. It's bringing up the nap on the steps, which, again, this is from the 70s, so these steps have gotten some wear on them, or at least the carpet is. I can already see stuff spinning around inside the cup here. The light does a pretty good job lightening up. I can see a lot of hair, lots of hair here. As far as access, this is much better than what I was using before. Our vacuum just wasn't the right size for this, and the beater bar would hang over the edge, so I'm kind of glad that it's a little bit smaller of a beater bar. Wow, there's a lot. There's much more than you think. So look at all this it picked up. That is a decent amount. So what do I think about this? Did much better than I thought. Longevity as far as the battery, I think that's probably going to be the only thing that I would have any concern with. 15 to 30 minutes of cleaning is fine for what I just did. And again, you've got to make sure that you buy this for the reason that it's designed for, and that is small, quick cleanup. So if you've got something that's going to take you, like I said, 15 to 30 minutes, that's fine. That is definitely fine. It'll work great. And the dust collector, I mean, it's relatively easy to clean this up. Let me go ahead and find something to dump this into. We can look at that. That seems pretty easy, right? And it's ready to go. Oh, it's not too bad inside there. You can see. Yeah, that was pretty decent. And I'll just show you real quick here. that's what we got there. A bunch of loose stuff and a whole bunch of hair. So whenever this says this is good for pet hair, I can believe it, because look at all that. That's almost all hair. Yikes. I don't know whose hair that is. Like I said, we've only been in here a short time, and that is more hair than we shed. And the links are going to be down below for this. And Pretty Care. Sure. Pretty Care. Pretty good. Good morning, YouTube. And what a wonderful day it is. Try to get you out the door here. So today, it is currently 10:30 a.m. It's on a Friday. And it is 76 degrees with a little bit of humidity, and today's high is going to be 85. Yes, sirree. This is what I've been waiting for. And we had storms last night, but they skated to the north of us, so we didn't really see them too much here, which is good. I had to go out and get the trash can. But yeah, we were potentially supposed to have some hail. God, I might have to wash this car. I don't think anybody's going to want to buy it the way that it looks, with all the dirt on it and the bird stuff. But the weather's been pretty darn good. Even yesterday, the weather was really nice. We had an estimate come yesterday? Yeah, last night, to put up a fence along this property here. We'll have to see what we're going to do, how much it's going to cost, and see how much we can afford. So the thing that we're running into is we'd like to do something at the end of the driveways here, you know, to make it look more fulfilling, more defined. We drive past our driveway because all these houses kind of look the same as far as the driveways are concerned. I mean, if you look down through here, look down the road. I mean, can you really tell any one place from the other unless there's something out there? Like these people here, they've got that school bus thing there, right? It's not our neighbors, it's the next house. You can kind of tell that. So that would tell you to turn in. But yeah, I mean, all these, they all look the same. And the road's so flat. It's real deceiving when traffic's going up and down the road. We talked about that a few times. We're also talking about the landscaping around the house again. Heidi started pulling weeds the other day, and she says, I've got some really bad news. I said, what's that? And she says, poison ivy. And I go, you're kidding me. Wasn't a lot, though. She put some gloves on and pulled it out. But yeah, we're definitely needing to increase the privacy. So we have a definite need for a fence. Starting at the corner of the garage and going out past where that brick is, about where that brick is, right there. Let's see, right there, you can see it on the camera. And then from that point on, maybe a smaller fence, a shorter one, you know, 6-foot vinyl up here. And yeah, well, like I said, we'll see what's going to happen. There's certain things that we know we want, and we learned a lesson. Let me tell you what that lesson is. We initially, when we had our first house over in Beloit, come to the conclusion that we wanted to make some changes to it. One of the changes was in the basement. We always wanted to like paint the basement, make it look a lot better. We also had a weird drain system, I guess you could say, for the sump pump and the shower downstairs, which the shower downstairs actually had to disappear before we sold it. But anyways, we always tried to gotta do some housekeeping here. We always had to do different things to get the house to where it was livable, basically. The problem is there was always these niceties. Like, you guys have been watching the channel for a while. Do you guys remember? I had that muddy mess of a driveway, and it was like that since pretty much the day we moved in. We added some gravel when we first moved in, and they They made our turnaround a little bit bigger, and it made things nicer than what it was, for sure. And then I made the turnaround bigger a couple more times, and I don't know, it never got to the point where I wanted to. And then within the last 4 years of us living at the house, it was it was a muddy mess. I mean, there was one time when we came back from the Virginia Beach RV trip. You guys remember that video? If you haven't, go check that out. We had our old RV, and when I pulled in, I got to where I just destroyed the yard. First of all, look at the yard here. This is me keeping just the front tires in the yard. The back tires I could not take and put in that yard, not even close. It's just that bad here. You see the tires now on the truck, how muddy they are. Oh my, looky here. Yeah, you see there was railroad ties that are there. The RV put those railroad ties there. As we drove over them, Heidi was standing over in this area as I was trying to negotiate up onto those railroad ties, and I was looking at them in the mirror. In the meantime, the other side of the RV was unrooting. They were unrooting them. Where I was trying to back in the RV, it was soft and it destroyed the yard there. And here we finally got all the gravel that we needed. But look at this. They came with the gravel. We went ahead and when the window shattered, I had to shop back up a bunch of glass over there with the gravel. So he dumped some over there. I spread it out with the old garden tractor. He made our turnaround, the apex, more radiused, or flattened the radius, I should say, flattened the curve. But this is the most important. This is the pad. We changed the way we did it. We wanted it to go to the corner of the railroad tie here, but once he was dumping, I said, you know what, there's no sense in it. The nice thing is you see all this dirt, this fine stuff, when it rains and this stuff packs down, it is incredible. And then we moved. We finally got the basement all straightened up, cleaned up. Heidi painted the whole basement, painted everything down there. This is the dealio. This is the finished product down here. The only thing we have to worry about is, well, actually nothing. Wow, Heidi did a good job in here. So we've got this big blue tote. We'll probably leave that. They can get rid of it if they want to. But yeah, the basement definitely, you did a really good job, Heidi, because it definitely looks a lot better in here. But all this is finished. And then freezer room's all painted. Looks nice. Now our son did this, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, our son painted this for us. So yeah, this is it. This is all of it in a nutshell.
It doesn't look as creepy.
Yeah.
Basements are, a lot of times, if they're not finished, they're creepy.
Right. And then we moved. So you could get the sense of what I'm saying here. It was like everything that needed to be done, we did, and then we moved. Our water softener was from the 60s or the early 70s, and it was a salt hog, and we used it all the way up until we moved. And then we bought a new system for the new owners. And Heidi, she is a big proponent of, let's never do that again. And that's why the house that we lived at in downtown in the city, that's why we did all that work. We cleared off the property of the trees. We didn't want to wait, because we planned on living there for a while. We got the front steps replaced right away. Again, we wanted to enjoy that. The new basement windows, all the new windows on the home, the new carpet, the new appliances, all that stuff, the new roof, the new metal roof, all that stuff, the new central air. I could keep on going. I should stop. All that stuff, all those things I just mentioned though, that was because we planned on living there. And Heidi's like, let's not wait. Let's get this stuff now, even though we could wait. Well, that's kind of what we're doing here too. Heidi knows at some point we'll be moving from the house, but she doesn't want to fix it up for the next people. She wants it to be something that we use. And if you guys, again, watch us for some time, that goes on. We do that a lot. We do that with, you know, RVs even. We've done that with our RVs where we have, you know, completely rebuilt an RV, you know, with a new roof and all that stuff. And we made it really nice. And then we only used it a few times and then sold it. When I say a few times, I guess that's unfair. That we did use that Terry camper quite a bit. But the StarCraft camper before that, we only used it twice and then it sold. We completely put in a new floor. We rebuilt the linen closet. We put in new water pump. We redid the lines inside. We made it really nice, put all new canvas on it. I upgraded the axles and put electric brakes on there. Didn't have electric brakes originally, new tires and rims, and we repainted it. I mean, we did all this work and we camped in it 2 times and then sold it. Now, there's something to be said about that as, you know, we've got, I'm gonna put this over here while I'm thinking about it. Whenever you do that, it does make the product worth more to the next owner, right? So, yeah, I don't really have a place for this, unfortunately. I guess it's going to continue to stay over here. It made it real nice for the, you know, the new owners. And it could be that we sold it for the price that we did based on that. I don't know that for sure, but that could be a good reason. So hopefully we get to enjoy this house more. There's a few things that we want to do. I said the fence is a definite one. I mean, right now, for example, our son's taking off for work, but every time I shoot video, you see the neighbor's house. If I move this camera out just a little bit, now you see the neighbor's house and you see their septic tank. That doesn't bode well for me doing, you know, reviews of any kind, just to let you know. If we put it in this direction, obviously, we don't have to worry so much about that. But it's just kind of odd that we haven't ever had a home that we moved into and then we just left alone. That's part of that is because Heidi and I both agree on certain things that, hey, this doesn't seem quite right. It should be this way. And we want to make it that way, just to make it nice. The garage, for example, out here, I need to take everything out of the garage. I need to pressure wash the floor. And then I need to paint the entire garage, the roof, everything. I have, you know, that paint spray, the paint thing that I can do it, but this is going to cause us to be, you know, for all this stuff to go out in the driveway, I'm going to have to get some big tarps or something to put it out there. And the fact that I'm, you know, got reviews going on, that ties things up a little bit. But anyways, that's what I'm kind of out here looking at today. I have 2 reviews that I have to do out here. Wow, I'm catching up. But I want to touch base on what's going on and why we're looking at, you know, the fence and stuff and what we plan on doing, what we do, what we plan on doing, what we'd like to do. It's all, you know, it's all relevant. And the fact that we know that we're going to be moving in so many years, we've got to watch how much money that we're spending to make sure that is recouped, you know, in the value of the home on some level. Anyways, that's my ideas. And I got to get busy. So, boom. How cool is that? Isn't that awesome?
It's my size.
So this is going to be the F. What do you think F stands for? That's forward. And the R, that's going to be reverse. So if you want to go backwards, you just flip that switch.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Well, that's on the low setting.
Well, I don't think we're gonna.
Yeah, that's better. That's a lot better.
Good.
Is that better?
I think you can adjust the shocks to make them a little softer or harder on it too.
They're pretty soft already.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I dicked around with it a little bit.